All right, everybody. Tough week 3. Anyone that watched that game cringed at a lot of moments. Definitely a game that we should have won. What we're going to do in today's video is break down 50 different plays throughout today's game of the All22 footage to highlight what went wrong, where we can go to fix things, and what we should be looking at going forward. We're going to cover a lot of different topics today. We're going to start with the offensive line, who leads the league in pressures, leads the league in sacks, leads the league in QB hits. Today's game, we had 8 sacks, which was more than any Giants team has had in over a decade. We'll highlight what went wrong with the offensive line. We'll get to Deshaun Watson. He missed a lot of plays in today's game. We'll talk about what was obvious, what he missed, where he can improve. We'll talk about the receivers who are currently leading the league in drops with 14 drops over 3 games. We'll talk about what went wrong with the receivers, and we'll break down the entire offense for week 3. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to start with what I feel like is the most glaring issue with this team right now, the offensive line. I'm going to throw their PFF rankings on the board here. Jedrick Wills with a 51, Joe Bitonio with a 54, Ethan Pocic a 40, Wyatt Teller 44, Dawand Jones a 48. Our starters overall averaged a 48 PFF ranking, which is really hard to do. I don't know if I've ever seen a complete group play worse collectively than the starting offensive line. So we're going to dive in real quick to what happened, and we're going to go player by player to see how we performed this bad. So Jedrick Wills right out the gate with a 51 PFF ranking. How do we rank this low? Let's go ahead and dive into some of the film on Jedrick Wills specifically. So this is the play that's been circulating on social media. You'll see Jed passes on 51. This might be zone blocking, but again, I don't think 51 here is supposed to have a direct line right into our running back. And so whether that's Jedrick Wills or whether that's Bitonio on the zone blocking, this is a clear breakdown from the offensive line that is going to blow up this run here from Jerome Ford. Now you'll see Jerome actually breaks this tackle here, and for whatever reason, Jed is doing absolutely nothing to block 28 here on the second block here. In a zone blocking scheme, my guess, and this is the other angle from that view, my guess on this play is he is trying to pass 51 over to Joe Bitonio. So that's a miscommunication breakdown. That might be okay from Jed, but this number 28 is clearly your guy to block, and I do not know what Jed was doing on this block. And so plays like these, we don't have an effective running game. I mean, the lack of running production is killing the Browns right now, and this is, again, both of Jed's guys just getting a free shot right in the backfield at Jerome Ford. There's no chance, even if we get Nick Chubb back, for this to be any sort of a positive gain. Definitely a bad look right there for Jedrick Wills. Next play, we're going to jump over to our touchdown pass here from Deshaun Watson to Amari Cooper. Again, I want to focus in. We'll talk about this play later on when we talk about Amari Cooper. But I want to focus in right here on Jedrick Wills here on the left-hand side. As you can see, he's getting lit up. I mean, the guy blows right around Jedrick Wills, crushes Deshaun Watson after the throw. Turns out this turns into a touchdown that won't be looked at negatively from a fan perspective. But again, if this is how Jed's going to be blocking on our quarterback's blind side, where you see number 5 just throws his hands away and essentially has a direct shot directly at our QB. I mean, on this play, Amari Cooper was the number 1 read. So Deshaun got rid of this pretty quick, but if he has to check on to the number 2 receiver, I mean, this could be a strip sack. Again, you kind of go back to the main view of this shot. Amari Cooper is not really open. I mean, you look, this isn't really separation, really at all. And so if Deshaun decides that, hey, this is not open enough, I got to check down to number 2, this is going to be a strip sack. And so, again, even though this will go down as a good play and a great start for the Browns, definitely not a good look from Jedrick Wills on the blind side. Could have turned into a really bad play there. We'll get to this play later on with Amari Cooper. Play number 3 here for Jed. So you see Jed here on the left-hand side, just completely not picking up, this blitz coming in here. This is a play where, again, I think you probably have Amari Cooper running open. But if you look at what's going on in this pocket, this is not the type of pocket that you want to give your quarterback success. So let's jump to the back angle footage of that one. Again, same play. You see, we have a really difficult time picking up on the blitz. They're only blitzing one guy. So you might say, hey, this is a blitz. There's 5 blockers and 5 guys. You see Joe Bitonio standing here in no man's land while Jed has 2 guys here. A clear miscommunication between how we're going to pass off the blockers here. We can't have Joe standing in the middle of no man's land while Jed's trying to pick up 2 guys. The pocket's just going to collapse, and obviously this is not the pocket we want to have our quarterback to have to be able to step up and make a throw, which is probably here. But again, could Deshaun have made that throw? Probably. But again, we're not making life easy on our quarterback by blocking like this. Jump to play number 3. Again, we're going to focus on Jedrick Wills here. We somehow just let 31 just come in completely unblocked to get a clean hit on our quarterback. Again, this is a guy that's probably running a 4-5 that we're just not going to block whatsoever. And again, this kind of blows up the play. There's nowhere for Deshaun to go in a second and a half. And this turns into just a busted play here. We end up getting the penalty, I think. But again, in zone blocking, I'm thinking that this is Jed's guy here. Again, Joe Bitonio is blocking nobody. In a zone blocking scheme, my guess is that you are trying to push this guy over to number 5, over to Joe Bitonio, and Jed's supposed to be blocking this free guy that's going to come in fast and crush our quarterback. So again, I think that's a miscommunication on who we're supposed to be picking up. Here you'll see Jedrick Wills just get torched. And again, this play didn't really matter because Deshaun got rid of it quick. We'll cover this play later on in the Deshaun Watson section. This was a terrible pass. But speaking of Jedrick Wills specifically, I mean, we just see this kind of over and over. The defensive ends running right around Jedrick Wills. Again, just not good blocking here. On this play, it didn't really matter because we were able to get the ball out. But again, if we have to check down to a second or third read, that's going to turn into a strip sack. Here's another play. Again, just miscommunication. Just a guy coming completely on the outside of the line. Jed is not understanding where he needs to be, who he needs to be blocking. In a zone blocking scheme, you want to pass this guy off. He completely doesn't see it. And again, this is just another free run at the quarterback. This is another shame because if you look on the left-hand side, Judy's probably open. But again, we have a free runner that's running a 4-5 directly at our quarterback, completely unblocked, forcing Deshaun to run to his right, sort of away from where we want the ball to be going, and kind of blows up the play. So again, maybe Deshaun, could he have made that play? Maybe, but we are making life incredibly difficult to make a throw, directly into where we have completely unblocked players running directly at his face. And again, right now, Jedrick Wills is blocking nobody. Jedrick Wills is standing around as the guy he's supposed to be blocking is taking a clean shot at our quarterback completely untouched. Jedrick Wills almost gets in the way of Deshaun then. Again, this is his guy that he's supposed to be blocking. He's standing right here. And again, the shame is Jerry Jeudy's open over here, right? I mean, if you block this better, again, this is not what we want Jedrick Wills doing on a play like this. Jump to our next play here, our last play on Jedrick Wills. Again, this over here. This one wasn't bad. We got the ball out soon. I think Deshaun recognized the pocket breakdown and got rid of the ball quick to Jerome Ford. It ended up turning into a decent gain here. But again, this is a play when you look just specifically at Jedrick Wills. I mean, this is such a weird block. Anytime that you have your helmet getting pushed down to your kneecap, I don't know what this move is. I'd love to hear Joe Thomas break down this one from a blocking technique perspective. But again, if we don't get rid of this ball in about a half a second, this is a quick read. this is going to be a sack, right? And you can see even Dawand Jones on this side getting torched too. We got rid of this ball fast. And if this is a situation where we have to check to a second or third read, this isn't going to work out well. All right, so we covered Jedrick Wills. Let's jump over to Joe Bitonio, who had the best ranking of the group at a 54.5. But for Joe Bitonio, we're used to seeing 70s, 80s. We're used to seeing all-pro performances out of him. We have not seen that once this year. So let's talk about why Joe may have gotten a low ranking in today's game. So Joe's going to be our left guard here. This play might have not really been his fault. I think this is offsides that was not called by the official that really blew up this play. And again, with how fast they got in there, not a whole lot for Deshaun Watson to do in this scenario. He kind of makes the something out of nothing here, but this will go down as a sack. Ultimately, I don't really blame Joel too much because I think this was a clear offsides that was missed. But again, from the quarterback perspective, he's doing play action. Deshaun's not looking down the field until about right now. And you can see, this is absolutely not the scenario that you want your quarterback turning his head for the first time, seeing 56 right in his grill, seeing Dawand Jones getting smoked here, probably holding number 0. Jedrick Wills getting burned, so Foreman's got to step up again. So right away, before he even really has a chance, and Judy probably breaks open here, but again, there's so much chaos going on in the pocket that Deshaun feels like he's got to maneuver his way out of here. And again, now we're running the opposite way of where all the receivers are running because of where the pressure came in. So Deshaun tries to get back to the right area. But again, this is sort of a blown play that probably had potential. Probably 2 or 3 linemen not doing what they're supposed to be doing on there to protect the quarterback. Again, here, we're going to focus in here on the left guard situation. Now, in this play, they are sending the blitz. So you probably want to hit an out route here. But again, Jerry Jeudy, you see down here, not really open. He's doing some weird spin move that doesn't really fool the defender at all. So this is kind of covered. Again, Amari Cooper, corner's got hands on him. Maybe we could get it out to our flanker here, but again, by the time that he breaks open, this pocket is collapsing. Deshaun sees an open running room, doesn't make it. Let's jump to the back pylon view. I don't blame the decision here. Again, I think he's looking Jerry Jeudy right here. We showed that route. Judy's completely covered. As he goes into his second read, he sees the pocket collapsing. He actually sees a wide open, probably 30 yards. So I don't hate this decision. Deshaun Watson does have speed to get through here. It'd be great here, not that Joe Bitonio did terrible here, but if Joe Bitonio can hold this block here for about a half second, we got daylight for 30, 40 yards that Deshaun Watson can take. Again, Joe's not holding his block at all. This linebacker comes right off him, makes the easy tackle, turns what could have been a big gain into a sack. Jump here to Joe Bitonio. Now we have Joel at left tackle, and to be fair to Joel, he's a guard, and so he had to play left tackle because Jedrick Wills got hurt. So he is playing out of position, so we want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But again, at left tackle, he's just getting smoked. He's just getting absolutely smoked around the back end. With this being Deshaun's blind side, he's not always going to see this. So Joel starts holding him. Again, at this point in time, this is more of a long developing route. So there's no one really to throw to at this point in time. Deshaun sort of feels it. And again, what's a shame is Elijah Moore here. He's going to break open. And if we can protect Deshaun to about here, I think we got a shot here, we got a shot here. But again, Deshaun is feeling this breakdown behind him, and he's scrambling out to move away from what Joel just completely missed on his tackle. And so he ends up scrambling around. This ends up being a flag, which is a bummer because Deshaun ends up getting a 9-yard run here that's completely negated. Next thing you know, it's now 2nd and 20 instead of 2nd and 1. So we'll rewind this to the back end footage. Again, Joel Bitonio on the left-hand side here. He just gets smoked This little dip move from number 0 here just goes right under his arms, having a direct shot at our quarterback. And again, if we had a half second more to step up in this pocket and make this throw, we probably can do it. But again, we're making it tough on the QB to make that read here. And then again, a decent gain here ends up being a negative 10-yard loss because of a penalty and ultimately just getting blown off the line. And again, this is Joel on the left-hand side. This is another example where we are just not picking up on a completely unblocked guy. The offensive line is clearly not recognizing where the blitz is coming from. And so Joel just lets this guy, 19, again, another guy that's probably running a 4.5, completely untouched at our quarterback. This is another scenario where, again, if we had more time to throw, there's no one to throw to right now, right? This is a long developing deep route. These guys are not breaking. Again, if we had a little more time, I think you do have Elijah Moore up the seam here. But again, once he breaks into this route, right about now is when you'd want to be throwing it. And again, you have an unblocked guy that's already in Deshaun's face. Again, we're making this incredibly difficult to make some of these plays that were out there. Now could have Deshaun maybe led Elijah Moore and threw it earlier? Maybe. But we are making life really difficult on our QB. And again, he blew his own block. Not only did he blow the block to number 0, I don't know if he's trying to pass this off to Ethan Pocic, but we have, 0 is right in Deshaun's face, and that's not even including this unblocked 19 that's coming at it. So, again, this is an area where on the film it's like, hey, step up, make the throw, but this is what Deshaun Watson is seeing when the line breaks down from his angle. He actually does a decent job Houdiniing out of these two guys that pretty much Joe Bitonio did pretty much nothing to block two different guys. 0 is right in his face. 19 is coming over here. How Deshaun got out of this, I don't know. But again, we missed the play. The play was over here. Now Deshaun's running the wrong way. A right-handed quarterback's not going to be able to make this throw running the opposite way. Just kind of a blown play. And a missed opportunity, I think, with the pressure being so bad. Here's another one on Joel. Again, this one's just confusing schematically. We got 2 guys that are blocking 93, and we have 2 guys that are blocking 97. So we have 4 out of 5 of our offensive linemen that are blocking 2 guys. Meanwhile, we have nobody blocking 19. We have nobody blocking 58. We have nobody blocking 41 on a run play. So again, if you look at this from Jerome Ford's perspective, I don't think we're supposed to be double teaming 2 of their guys in this scenario. You can see how fast 58 and 41 just close on the running back, completely untouched, completely unblocked. We got about 3 or 4 Giants that are swarming this run. And these things hurt drives, right? Nick Chubb's not going to be able to get through this hole either. And this turns into, instead of a 2nd and 5, if we're blocking who we're supposed to be, this is 2nd and 10. And now we're in an obvious pass situation. Again, here's Joel on the left-hand side. Just gets torched. Just gets absolutely torched by a spin move. Now, again, this is the fumble play, so it ultimately didn't matter. But again, this is what was consistently happening throughout the game. It hurt both the run, it hurt the pass. So again, here's this swim move. He just blows right by Joe Bitonio. And again, we're lucky this was a run play and not a pass, because this would have been a sack or a strip sack. But so again, Joe Bitonio, for somebody that's an all-pro that we expect to play great, ranking out of 54 on PFF is not where we need to be. Ethan Pocic, a 40 ranking. This is borderline, do we need to start Nick Harris next week? Let's jump into Ethan Pocic here, where he can improve. Again, this is another play. Not a whole lot open here. Again, I don't know. You question a little bit of the play calling. If they're showing blitz, do we really want a deep out, 2 deep routes here right now for Deshaun Watson if we need to get rid of the ball quick? You see Jerry Jeudy as a comeback route, so even though he does have a little bit of separation, the route is a comeback, so he's not going to be open on this route. Amari Cooper down here has 2 people on him. Maybe you could have saw Elijah Moore, but again, when you look how fast this pocket breaks down, that's going to be incredibly difficult to make anything successful happen with the quarterback. I circled Ethan Pocic on this play because him specifically I thought got pretty torched. Again, that guy within a half a second is already around Ethan Pocic. Ball gets snapped, boom, half a second, Posic's already beat right up the middle. And again, this makes it hard to step up in the pocket, right? Posic's getting absolutely torched here. And so is Dawand Jones, and so is D'Onta Foreman. But again, this makes it incredibly hard. There's nowhere to throw to with Judy. There's nowhere to throw to with Amari. This one's tough. I mean, we're making life tough on the quarterback. Anytime you have your lineman on his knees after the play, while three of his guys are tackling our quarterback, again, not a great look there for Ethan Pocic. Jump to the next play here. Ethan Pocic here at center. Again, this seems like miscommunication. This is another one where he ended up on the ground with his guy sacking our quarterback. Another play where at least two out of our four receivers are on these long developing deep routes. I don't know if this is the first read, but we simply don't have time to make a 30-yard pass if this is how the line's going to break down. I will say on this one, he does have Jerome Ford out here as a check down. I think you want to see Deshaun recognize pressure's coming and hit our check down. He is open for probably a 5-yard gain. But again, we are making life incredibly difficult when you have to make these decisions in a second or two. So again, here's Ethan Pocic. Again, I think we're just confused here. This is zone blocking, so I think he's supposed to pass this over to Bitonio. And he does. But again, the communication on who's supposed to be switching on to who is terrible. I mean, there's 3 guys and 3 blockers, but 77 Wyatt Teller is not really blocking anybody right now. Pocic just got totally beat, right? Bitonio might have done his job in terms of switching on to the right guy. But again, Pocic just letting this guy have a clear run directly at our quarterback while Ethan Pocic is on his knees. Not a good look, not a position that we want to have us put our quarterback into. This is one of the 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. Again, on a quarterback sneak, the most important thing that we want is the center to get some push. So we see as we snap this, you'll see Pocic just getting pushed backwards, right? I mean, this isn't significant, but again, getting pushed backwards a yard is going to make Jameis Winston have to go to his right or his left. Again, kind of blows up the quarterback sneak when your center is getting pushed backwards a second after the snap. I think not a good play there from Ethan Pocic. We'll jump to the next play here. We'll see what happens on this one. He's kind of blocking nobody here. He's kind of in no man's land. And again, we got a lot of pressure coming. This is an area where I feel like whether it's Kevin Stefanski, Dorsey, or Deshaun Watson, we got to audible out of this play. I mean, if they're going to be blitzing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and adding a 6th person, I mean, Judy on this deep route, he's double covered. Amari's blanketed. There's nobody in the flank. And so, we want to scream at our TV to have Deshaun Watson make a better play. But this is a play that's, you just got to take the sack. There's nothing here. There's nowhere to run. He tries to extend the play, has to throw it away. But again, I question up front if we are blocking to our assignments on here. Right? I mean, you look up front, 41 is going to come in completely untouched. We completely don't recognize that this guy's blitzing at all, and we're just going to let him all the way through. 27 over here is going to come in with a clean look, and so we got 2 guys borderline untouched coming at our quarterback from the right-hand side. Meanwhile, 66, that is James Hudson, is standing around in no man's land. Joe Bitonio is standing around in no man's land. So we got the guys to make these blocks, but it seems like they are not in the right position. There's nowhere to go with this ball. If you look at what Deshaun's seeing down the field, Cooper's blanketed. There's nowhere to go. But again, there's no time here. You just got to throw it away and take another QB hit, which we lead the league in. Again, here's another play. Speaking of Pocic, just miscommunication. In this play here, you're going to see Deshaun is looking for Jerry Jeudy. You're going to see Jerry Jeudy break open right about now, where if we're looking at Judy's route, Deshaun can play him right here. This is a big game. I mean, if we have time to make this throw, Deshaun can lay this up right here. You know, he's catching this 20 yards down the field. This could be a 30, 35-yard gain if he leads Jerry Jeudy right here. But again, you know, it sounds easy when you're looking at the play to make the play. But when Jeudy gets into this break, he makes his cut right about now. Again, what is Deshaun Watson looking at? He starts rearing up to throw, I think, at the right time to lead Jeudy over here. But again, this pocket is so under duress by Ethan Pocic getting completely torched that the guy ends up hitting Deshaun's elbow. Ball kind of flails out, ends up being an incomplete pass. So we look at this same one from the back angle. Again, Pocic right up the middle. Again, just getting to, I guess what this was a stunt play. So again, they're switching here. So Zero's going to switch his guy and try to go around Pocic. Again, you got to pick him up. This is zone blocking. I think Bitonio does the right thing by switching and communicating. Pocic is left in no man's land, just completely doesn't block his guy. This should not be that hard of a switch. This is two guys and two blockers. They're in the right position right now. You got to switch onto him. Pocic completely misses it. And then again, Jeudy does break open right here. And Cooper is open as well. So if we block him for another half second, this is going to be a big play, whether Deshaun is going to Amari Cooper or whether he's going to Jerry Jeudy. I think he's throwing it at the right time. But again, this is not the throwing pocket that we need. And ultimately, elbow gets hit. What would have been probably a big gain to Jerry Jeudy. We know he has open field up here. Ball ends up coming out, being incomplete. Here's another play, Ethan Pocic. Again, we're double teaming 58, and we're letting 94 come in completely untouched, right? Now, whether this is Nick Harris or Ethan Pocic, I'm not sure, but this is a communication breakdown. 94 comes completely untouched at our quarterback. To me, this is unacceptable because we have 5 blockers blocking 3 guys. I mean, there's other scenarios in the game where they're bringing 5. Hey, that's sometimes tough. We have 5 blockers blocking 3 guys, right? And 94 goes completely untouched up the middle with a clean shot directly at our quarterback without any of the 5 linemen laying a finger on them. This ultimately ends up being a good play by Deshaun, making this pass. Atkins drops the ball. We do lead the league in drops with 14 drops on the year. These are killer. But again, going back to what we're doing here, on a 3-man rush, there's no way that anyone should be coming in untouched at our QB. This is a run play, so we're going to focus here on, this is actually, Ethan Pocic got hurt. Nick Harris comes in here. This is actually an area where most of the line blocked well. This could be a big gain here from Jerome Ford if Nick Harris can seal that edge. He's got space over here. Harris just gets torched. I mean, I don't know what we're doing here. Blocking 41 here. This could be a big gain. We don't have a lot of big gains on the run. This was an opportunity to clear a hole for Jerome Ford, and that's just terrible blocking. Now, luckily, Jerome Ford actually breaks this tackle and makes something out of nothing here. This is actually one of Jerome Ford's better runs in the game. He somehow breaks through 58. So good job by Jerome Ford there. But again, this could have been a big game. Jerome Ford's got speed. We know he can break the big one. But again, this play could have been bigger than it was. Again, whether this is Ethan Pocic or Nick Harris, this is a communication breakdown, right? One of these 2 guys that are standing right here has to block this lineman. We just let him go right through. Again, this kind of blows up the play a little bit. Again, Amari and Jeudy are running these deep routes that we need to have time to develop. Now, maybe right here, Deshaun should hit Elijah Moore. You know, I think there's a little on Deshaun here to forget this out. But again, right out of the gate, this is not a play where we're supposed to be running around in circles right out of the gate. You know, and maybe at this point, Deshaun could have hit Amari Cooper coming over here, but again, it's so blown up by this point because of Ethan Pocic. Deshaun does do a good job making something out of nothing. He actually turns us into a pretty big gain here. But again, if we have 3-4 seconds in the pocket to let Judy and Amari Cooper get open deep, this could be a big play. But again, Ethan Pocic, what are we doing right now? I mean, what are we doing? This is 19, borderline has a free run on our quarterback, and almost immediately, instead of dropping back in the pocket and making the throw, Deshaun immediately has to run around to stay safe, right? And at this point, with other things blowing up, he somehow Houdini's his way out of these blocks here and turns it into a big gain. But again, if we could just block a little bit better up front, we could start making better passing plays down the field. This is another, I think this was the 3rd and 1 before the 4th and 1. Again, we want at least to push our guy forward a little bit from Ethan Pocic. He goes backwards into Deshaun Watson here. Again, this is going to make a quarterback sneak incredibly difficult. We never want the back of our lineman's head to be hitting our quarterback's head, right? And this just blows up a quarterback sneak here by Jameis Winston. All right, let's jump to Wyatt Teller. We're used to Wyatt Teller being a Pro Bowler. He ranked out with a 44 ranking in PFF, one of his worst performances of his career. So let's break down our right guard here, what we're doing here, why he performed so poorly. This was a play where, again, I want to focus on where the line of scrimmage was on this play. The line of scrimmage here is at the 38-yard line. And almost immediately, you can see how far Wyatt Teller gets pushed back in the quarterback. Within about a second and a half, 2 seconds, again, the line of scrimmage is up here. And our right guard has been pushed back about 7 or 8 yards into our quarterback. Deshaun sees a guy that has some separation that he could get into, but again, when your right guard has been pushed back 8 yards into the quarterback, there's nowhere to step up. Right? And so let's watch it from this angle. I mean, he's just getting pushed right in. And again, Dawand Jones here, just getting smoked as well. I mean, the guy around the corner just going right around Dawand Jones at our quarterback. But again, this is a play that we can make. This is, not wide open, but this is a play that is makeable. But again, when this is the pocket that we are throwing through and there is nowhere for our quarterback to step up, all of a sudden you take a play that we can make and we make it impossible, right? Or really difficult. Could Deshaun have made this pass? Maybe. But come on, we got to get him more than a second and a half before he's getting killed. We got to at least give him room to step into the throw, which is not what we're doing on this play. Jump over here to the right guard. Again, he's getting pushed back about 8 yards into the quarterback. And again, this one, the line of scrimmage is probably around the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage is at the 30, right? And you see how fast he is getting bull rushed back to the 22. Now he kind of makes up for it. He pushes him over here and kind of makes up for it. The pocket ends up being clean. But again, anytime we have our right guard being pushed back 8 yards within 2 seconds, again, that's going to make it really tough to step up and make a throw. Again, you see him just getting bull rushed right into our quarterback. Again, we'll get to this play with Deshaun. This is a bad throw. So regardless of the pressure, this is a bad throw by Deshaun. But again, not where we want to be. Over here, see, this guy just blows right by Wyatt Teller here. Again, are we even... I'm sorry, this is now Zach Zinter. Teller left the game at this point. But again, it looks like there's a little confusion on who he's supposed to be guarding early on. He's late to this block. And then again, within about a second, this guy is right in Deshaun's face. We're lucky that he lost his balance. Deshaun slides to the left a little bit. But again, could be a strip sack. Again, this is not the ideal scenario we want for any quarterback to see within a second and a half of dropping back. Obviously, he's looking at 88 right here. He's not open. Again, making it really tough. On this play, again, we're probably not ready to make this throw. Amari Cooper has not broken into his route yet, and so we're probably throwing this a second early. If we're throwing it now when he breaks, maybe there is an opportunity here. But again, Cooper has not even broke yet. And because Deshaun is seeing this after a second and a half, we're rushed on the throw. We got to get it out early. Again, probably before the timing of the route, and this ends up just being a blown play. It's a handoff here. Again, I don't know exactly whose fault this is, but anytime that this is your running zone and you get sandwiched in between three linemen, something's going wrong here. I don't think our run blocking has been nearly as effective as we need it to be. Last one here on Wyatt Teller. Just completely blocks the wrong guy, I think, on this play. I'm sorry, this is Zach Zinter again, but again, we'll kind of show it from the other angle here. Looks like he just standing in no man's land, and this guy's already blocked. Maybe that's part of the scheme. Maybe we're trying to push people this way. I just don't know if 41 should have an unblocked shot at our quarterback. Jerome Ford picks him up late, but again, just not. Deshaun ends up getting this ball out, but not where we want to put our quarterback in. All right, so bad game for Wyatt Teller, 44. He ends up getting hurt. Not a good game here. So jump to Dawand Jones. He ends up ranking out at a 48, which is one of his worst games of his career as well. We're going to jump here to the right-hand side, just completely torched. Now I will say before this game that he does have a knee injury. It does seem to seem like it's affecting him. But again, just torched. And this will blow up a run play. Look at it from the back angle. We're looking over here at Dawand Jones. Just torched. The run is supposed to come to the right. You see all the linemen moving to the right. The hole is supposed to be sealed by Dawand Jones. It's not. So that forces Jerome Ford to cut back. Maybe there is room for a big play. Maybe a Nick Chubb breaks through this, but Jerome Ford is not Nick Chubb. And again, number 0, who was Dawand Jones' guy, ends up coming in here and making the tackle on the other side of the field because Dawand Jones got completely torched. Here's another one by Dawand Jones. Again, just not a whole lot here to go. This is the same play I think we went through before. Not a lot there for Deshaun Watson to make a play. And again, just evaluating Dawand Jones, he's just blowing his block. He's not doing a whole lot to protect the quarterback there. Another play from Dawand, just getting lit up. He barely is slowing his guy down. And this is not Myles Garrett dipping at a 90-degree angle. This guy's flat-footed, just coming right at our quarterback from the right-hand side. This is tough. We'll look at it from the front angle here. Again, not even that special of a move from 51. This wasn't some sick Myles Garrett move. He's just running right around Dawand Jones. Just right around him, right into our quarterback. So, not good. Another play from Dawand Jones. This is another one where I'm guessing he's supposed to be picking up in his own blocking scheme, this end guy, but we have another guy just coming completely unblocked. And I know this is a blitz, so I don't know for sure, is this supposed to be the tight end, what we're supposed to do in this scenario. But again, just this 27 is going to come right around and blow up the run. There's nothing for Jerome Ford to do. This is just going to be a 0-yard gain for Jerome Ford. Again, Dawand Jones here on the right-hand side. We'll see what happens this play. Yep, just getting torched. Just getting torched. This turns into a strip sack here. This is a pivotal play in the game where his guy strips Deshaun Watson from his blind side here. When I say his blind side, he's looking Judy here, so he's not seeing this guy based on where his eyes are. Ends up getting stripped. I will say, for Deshaun, we probably want to have this ball out now as Judy's breaking right about now. And so if Deshaun gets rid of this now, he is probably missing the sack here. For whatever reason, Deshaun decides to double clutch a half second too late. and it turns into a bad play. So whether this is on, is this on Dawand Jones or is it on Deshaun Watson? I think it's on a little bit of both. We'll start with Dawand Jones here. Just getting torched. I mean, this is like 2 seconds before his guy is hitting our quarterback's arm. And then now from a Deshaun Watson standpoint, when he got to the back of his drop, right about here is where Judy breaks. And so he's got to make this throw now, right? And so why he decides to double clutch and wait that extra half second to get into the throw, this one's partially on Deshaun. But again, speaking of Dawand, not making life easy on the quarterback here. Again, another play with Dawand, just getting smoked. I mean, they're running right around him. And so, not a lot here. When you look at right now, Deshaun Watson, he's not even all the way back in his drop yet. He just now, his back foot plants right now, and immediately, instead of looking downfield, he's got to avoid this guy that's already in his face by the time his back foot plants. And then again, instead of looking downfield for, maybe an Elijah Moore, maybe a Cooper that could break open, again, he's got to take off. And this turns into a good play for us. But again, we shouldn't have to be running around after 1.5 seconds every play. We'll look at this one from the back angle here, same play. Just getting torched. And I'm sorry, this is not Dawand Jones. Dawand Jones left the game. This is now James Hudson, who also ranked out at a PFF 46.4. But again, this just makes it tough, We want Deshaun to be able to step up in the pocket and make the throw, but not a lot of room for him to go. So Deshaun probably makes the right read here, takes off and runs. But again, we want to be able to do more in the passing game. We need a little more time. This is back to Dawand Jones here. See Dawand Jones here on the right-hand side guarding 5. I think that's Thibodeau. Again, he's not even slowing him down. I mean, he is not even slowing down this blocker here. Just a clean shot right at our quarterback. And again, this is another shame because, hey, we probably have at the top of this route Amari Cooper open. But again, by the time Cooper plants into the top of his route, Deshaun is already getting sacked. So, this is just a tough one. We probably have guys that do break open, but this is one where I don't know what you want Deshaun to do when this is happening. We got to at least slow him down. And again, this is not Myles Garrett bending at a 90-degree angle. This is just a straight line at our quarterback, right? And again, it's a shame because right now, again, you might have him. But again, you can't wind up to throw when you got somebody right on your back. These are plays I think that we can make and Deshaun can make if we give him more than 2 seconds to throw the ball. Here's another one, Dawand Jones. This was a passing play. This is one of Deshaun's better passes on the play to Jerry Jeudy. It ends up being fine because Deshaun hits his first read. He throws it really quick. But Dawand Jones over here, man, this is just consistent getting blown up, right? We'll look at it from the back angle. Dawand on the right-hand side here. Again, not even slowing him down. I don't even know if he got a finger on 0. If he did, it didn't slow him down. This is not what we want. We're inches away from this being another strip sack or deflected ball by hitting Deshaun's arm here. Ends up being a good play. We got rid of it in about a half second. So, again, not a good game from Dawand Jones. So, again, to me, this is number one. Our offensive line with how we're ranking out, it's killing the run. It's allowing us to be completely ineffective in the run game. It's providing constant chaos in pass protection. Now, could Deshaun still make more throws? Absolutely. Let's get into that next. But the line's got to play better. I don't care if we have Baker Mayfield. I don't care if we have Joe Flacco back. I don't care if we put in Jameis Winston. We are not going to be successful if all 5 guys are breaking down this many times in a single game. So, was it all the offensive line's fault? No. Let's jump over to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson ranked out a 51.5 PFF ranking, which is a big disappointment because last week he ranked out at a 72.5. versus Jacksonville, which was a top 10 PFF performance. We thought we had him on the right track going into week 3, shaking off the rust of week 1. We wanted to see him build on that Jacksonville game, and he didn't do that, right? And so we've already covered the line here. Let's dive into where Deshaun Watson made some big mistakes in today's game, and where we need him to be better going forward. First play I want to cover here, this is just a bad pass, kind of a bad read. I don't know here, and we covered this with Wyatt Teller here. Even though Wyatt Teller got pushed back 8 yards, this is still a clean pocket. Make the throw. You got Jerry Jeudy here. You probably got some separation. You need a good throw. If you don't like this read here, let's check it down to the tight end. Again, Deshaun decides to make this throw, and just whether he was spooked by 19 that he maybe didn't see when he first started wounding up, or if it's just a bad throw, I don't know. But again, he's got, with how they started clean the pocket here to the right, he's got plenty of room to make this throw. So if he doesn't like Jeudy, I mean, you got 84 right here, or you potentially got Tillman up the seam. He decides to go to Jeudy, and it's just a bad pass. So maybe he got spooked by 19 and mid-throw threw it away on purpose, or it's just a bad pass. I don't know, but that's not a good play for Deshaun Watson here. This is one. This was probably, I thought, Deshaun Watson's worst decision on the day. From a decision standpoint, he's looking Jeudy here. Judy's running sort of a comeback route, and so Deshaun Watson at right now decides that I want to throw to Jerry Jeudy. I don't know what he's looking at. This is just a really bad read. And we're lucky that this ball doesn't get picked off. We do have 0 interceptions on the day, which is good, but this one, I think we're very lucky that we ended up with 0 interceptions. Just a really bad read, I think, by Deshaun Watson on this play. Again, pocket's fine. You know, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Step in and make a throw. But, again, this is not... Now, maybe if you play the ball over here, maybe you could squeeze this in. I don't know if he thought that number 0 having his weight on his right foot meant that he's going to carry the other way. But again, this is just, to me, a bad decision to make this throw. I mean, not what we want there. Jeudy might have helped break it up a little bit, but bad decision by Deshaun Watson. Jumping to this play, this is a clean pocket. I mean, this is, you know, we talked a lot of crap about every time we got burned, but this is a great pocket. You even look here at Wyatt Teller just throwing his guy to the ground, giving Deshaun a clean area to step up and make a throw. He's looking Elijah Moore, who beats his guy. In the NFL, this is NFL open. Deshaun sees it on time, makes the throw, and overthrows it. This is a bad throw. Now, on the broadcast, it looked like Deshaun was upset with Elijah Moore. I don't know if there was miscommunication on where he was supposed to run that route. It's kind of what it felt like based on his facial reaction. But this is a play. Again, great pocket. We just got to make that throw. Stepped into it. Mechanics look good. I don't know what happened. But that's a play that you could probably at least get Elijah Moore down to the 5-yard line, if not a touchdown. Just a missed throw. We got to get on the same page if there was miscommunication, but we expect him to make that. This is a play we covered, Jedrick Wills getting torched. This is a play that I don't care that Jedrick Wills got torched because Amari Cooper is wide open. They're giving you Amari Cooper. They're not even guarding him. And again, this corner right here falls over and gives us a break for what could be a big play if you hit him in stride. Again, I don't care that there's pressure on this play. This is wide open. This is an easy throw for any quarterback. So how we missed that, might have got lucky that this guy fell over. Ends up not being an interception, thankfully. But again, sometimes I don't care if the line breaks down. I don't care if Jed gets torched. This is a clean throwing window right to Amari Cooper. About a 6-yard pass. I don't know how you missed this. This is a bad throw. And lucky that it wasn't worse than what it was. This play, so this is the 4th and 1. This play has been circulating a lot. This is a chance to win the game. We're down 21-15 at this point, 4th and 1. 70 yards gets us a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy's going to run a crossing route. Adkins going to be underneath. The guy that's guarding Adkins gets picked, leaving Adkins wide open. This seems like an easy read. I don't know what spooked Deshaun here. I think he just got locked into Jerry Jeudy. So good job of not throwing it to Jeudy here. I don't think that is going to be completed on 4th and 1. I'd rather try and run it. But he clearly missed the read. I mean, this is Jordan Adkins right here. His guy gets picked. 1 yard past the sticks. Hit him. So this is a bad read. Again, this guy ends up being in his face. He ends up running around. We almost get the first down. I almost question if Stefanski should have challenged this, but to me, that's on Watson. Make the play. That's a big play in the game. That's a turnover. From the back view, same play. Again, probably not a great job from Zinter here, but the ball should already be out. Could have probably used Joe Bitonio not standing in no man's land when we're trying to run for a yard, but that's on Deshaun. I think he needs to make that read. And that's an important part of the game. For 4th and 1 in the 4th quarter. This is a play, again, clean pocket here. This is Amari Cooper breaks right now. Give him the ball. This seems like an easy 10-yard completion. Easy line of sight for Deshaun. He kind of waits a little too long, and I think sometimes this is another area where he sort of double clutches. But Cooper's open. Just get it out of your hands quick. The read's there. There's no confusion. For whatever reason, he decides to do this double clutch thing. Or again, get the ball out now. But he waits and does this double clutch, and now you're a little bit late. You're trying to squeeze it into a window now. Just trust your eyes. Hit him when he's open. Last play here in Deshaun. I don't necessarily hate him for making this read to Cooper. Cooper does kind of pop open here. Pocket's completely collapsing like normal. He makes a pretty good throw. I think if Cooper reads this a little better, this could be a big play. So I don't hate the idea to go to him, especially with the plays that Cooper made throughout the day. But this is one, if we rewind it back, he should probably read blitz here and read that we have a wide open guy in the flank. Just take the 10 yards here. This guy's wide open. We're going to complete this 100% of the time for a first down, an important part of the game. So again, I don't hate the decision. This could have been a huge gain to Amari Cooper, and the ball was pretty close to being on the money. But, let's just take the 10 yards when we got it. I think there's a couple plays where, again, we can get a couple of the sacks where we could have just got the ball out faster to the guy that's open. So again, a lot to improve for Deshaun Watson. Definitely a regression from what I thought was a really good game last week versus Jacksonville, even though not necessarily a box score stuffer, but we need Deshaun Watson to play better. A 52 PFF ranking is not what we expect from our quarterback. Let's jump to positives. Let's jump to Amari Cooper because he's the only one that PFF thought had a really good game. They ranked him at a 78, which for Amari, last week, dropping passes. The week before, dropping passes. His separation ranking is terrible through the first 2 weeks. Amari Cooper, through 2 weeks, had dropped more passes than any entire receiving group on any team in football. So we needed him to come out and have a good game, and that's exactly what he did. So let's look here first at the touchdown pass from Deshaun Watson to Amari Cooper. Again, we kind of talked about this, not a whole lot of separation, which is what we're kind of consistently seeing from Cooper. But again, what a pass and what a catch here from Amari, keeping his feet in bounds. This was an awesome play. We would love to see more of this. And again, even though Jed's getting burned here, Deshaun's getting hit, the ball is right where it needs to be. But what I really want to highlight here is awesome catch by Amari. He's getting hit by the corner. He's got hands in his face. That left foot is about to go out of bounds. He brings it back inbounds to make that catch and put his body at a 45-degree angle. This is an awesome play by Amari Cooper. These were the plays that he was not making in weeks 1 and 2 that we saw him make in week 3. This is another sideline play, another good pass here. But again, great body awareness by Amari Cooper to bring this one in. Just an awesome play. Again, same play here. See, Deshaun gets it out quick, puts it in the spot where only Amari can get it, even though he's pretty covered. Same kind of thing. That foot's about to go out of bounds. The body awareness to bring that left foot back into bounds, turn his body at a 45-degree angle, drag that right foot, complete the catch while the defender has his hands where the ball is. That's an awesome play by Amari Cooper. We're going to get to the third play here. This one, Deshaun's got a scramble. He sees Cooper, sees a little throwing window. And again, I feel like we're saying the same thing. This is like 3 plays, deja vu, of Cooper just making a great sideline play. Deshaun putting the ball where it needs to be. So this one he kind of scrolls out, makes the throw, puts it in the spot that only the receiver can get it. And then just, again, I feel like I'm on repeat right now, but 45-degree angle, moving his feet inside. I mean, this is just an awesome catch by Amari Cooper. And then here's the touchdown play. You see Cooper here lined up down here, down below. He kind of fakes like he's a decoy, like we're running the ball, and he's not running a real route. He head fakes as if he's running to the corner, turns on the Jets inside, and just completely smokes this corner here. So we talked about all the other plays, Amari Cooper not creating separation well, which he's not. This play is one where he did. I mean, look at that route. Pretty easy throw for Deshaun. Deshaun gets it out on time. But Amari Cooper, I mean, this is, by NFL standards, an easy catch for a touchdown. Great job there by really burning his corner to get open. Jerry Jeudy ranked out. I think we showed a couple plays where I think Jerry Jeudy could have had a bigger game had Deshaun got rid of the ball quicker, had the line not imploded on so many plays. He ranked out with a PFF ranking of 64, which is okay for PFF standards. Not a great game, but okay. I think we could have had more Jerry Jeudy if there were other things that went right. I do want to highlight some of the miscues, though. Some areas where it's like, hey, man, if we can just stop kicking ourselves in the foot, we can actually have big gains. So this is actually a screen pass. Now, again, what's the recurring theme here? Just completely not even putting a hand on any blocker. I know on a screen that we're supposed to let people through, but again, this is about 1 second, and Deshaun's getting crushed, which makes this throw tough. But the screen design worked perfect. We get the ball over here to Jerome Ford here. We got a blocker here. We have a blocker here. We have a blocker here. This could be a 50-yard gain or a touchdown. I mean, he's got clear as day room to turn the corner and have this turn into a big play. Unfortunately, Jerome Ford just drops it. Again, we lead the league in drops. This type of stuff is killing us. I get the ball's a little low. I think it was low because of what's going on right now. So Deshaun could get it up a little bit, but just catch the ball. I mean, it's right there. Just catch it. And this is a big gain. Missed opportunity. Jump over here. This is the fumble. Jerome Ford just fumbles the ball away. This is a shame because this was right after we drove, what was it? We drove all the way down the field and scored a touchdown to Amari Cooper the play before. And so this is frustrating after the offense finally starts clicking in the fourth quarter to have a situation where we fumbled the ball away. Again, this is a 21-15 game. This is a chance to go down and have a game-winning drive, and we completely fumble the ball away. We blow this play. The previous drive, we had a 49-yard touchdown drive. This drive, we were driving 34 yards down the field. We're on the 45. We're clicking. Deshaun actually had completed 7 passes in a row, including a touchdown, including a 2-point conversion. This was the one part of the game where we were actually kind of humming a little bit. We have a chance to go and win the game, and Jerome Ford fumbles the ball away. These are killers. Again, we look at it from the back angle. Just hold on to the ball. It's bad. So these are killers. Again, this is the next drive. We've already covered this play, but I want to highlight that this is 4th and 1. On the very next drive, it's still 21-15. A touchdown wins the game here. And so, we've already covered Deshaun made that mistake, but again, this was our second chance to win the game. And this one's on Deshaun Watson, I think. Even with these 2 miscues, our defense give us a third chance to come back and win this game. It's still 21-15. We're moving down the field a little bit. This is 4th down. We got to make a play here on 4th down. Deshaun Watson makes a great throw right now to Cedric Tillman. He's covered. He's covered, and there's not a whole lot else to go with the ball. You can say, hey, maybe we should have hit Adkins, but he's 5 yards below the sticks. I don't want to throw a ball where we're trusting Adkins to break a tackle on 4th down to get to the first. He's not David Njoku. So I like the read here. It's a perfect pass. Right on the money. You can see from the game angle, this ball isn't tipped. Cedric Tillman just drops the ball away. Again, the Browns lead the league in drop passes with 14. These plays are game killers. We would have had the ball on the 40-yard line, 40 yards away for the win. Just a couple closing thoughts here. Our running game, Jerome Ford, we're averaging 48 yards from him a game on the ground. If you take out that one 40-yard run versus Jacksonville, we're only averaging 36 yards on the ground with Jerome Ford. Again, part of it, he's not Nick Chubb. Part of it is we got to block better. Our run blocking's terrible. There's so many plays where we're just getting stuffed on 1st and 10, and then it's 2nd and 10, and we're putting ourselves in bad situations. Coaching, I don't know if we just did not adapt at all to the Giants blitzing, but they started blitzing on every play, or way more than normal. And it felt like we didn't react. We showed a lot of plays where we had these long developing deep routes that just are not going to work if there's pressure coming. And so whether that's the coaching that did not adapt to the blitzes that were coming and changing the play calls to something that would negate a blitz, or if it's Deshaun Watson not audibling out when he sees blitz coming pre-snap, a lot of these plays were designed to fail today. And so I do blame coaching. We got to have quicker outs, quicker screens. We have to be doing things when we see them blitzing over and over and over again to counter a blitz, and I don't think that was happening today. So overall, why have we not scored more than 18 points all season? Number one, we're still 2nd in the league in penalties. We're going backwards more than any team except for the Ravens. It's going to make it really hard to move the ball downfield and to not be punting when we're 2nd in the NFL in penalties. We're number 1 in the NFL in drops. We have 14 drops. The second most team has 10. The third highest team has 6, and everyone else has under 5. There's actually 9 teams in the NFL that have 1 drop or less. And so when you think about a third of the league has only 1 drop or less, and we have 14, again, these are killers. They're drive killers. There's game killers. They've killed us on all 3 games. It's also part of the reason why does Deshaun throw for sub 200 every game? Well, he'd probably be over 200 every game if we didn't drop 14 passes, right? And you think about drop passing as a metric, those are the egregious drops. Those aren't the ones that receivers could have had, but it got hit out of their hands. 14 is the egregious drops. It's only a drop if the league counts it a drop, and they're pretty lenient towards receivers. So 14 drops, it's killing us in the game here. Probably one of the worst O-line performances through 3 weeks that I've ever seen. I've never seen all 5 guys rank out below a PFF. We're averaging a PFF 48 between all 5. And this is the same line that used to be a top 5 unit in the league. Again, to me, first and foremost, that's what we got to improve on, or else we're not going to be able to run. We're not going to be able to wait for deep routes. We're not going to be able to throw for 300 yards a game if we can't block for more than 3 seconds to have our receiver get open down the field. So we got to get better up front. I don't know what's going on, but it's got to improve. And then underperforming quarterback. I mean, Deshaun now, I thought he had a good game versus Jacksonville, but this is 2 bad performances. Week 1 versus the Cowboys, Week 3 versus the Giants. We can't have him play bad 2 out of 3 games. Again, a lot of plays left on the field that we kind of highlighted with Deshaun Watson in a game that we only lost by 6 points. Some of these plays could be the difference for winning games like this. We have no rush attack. We rank 23rd in the league in rushing, and that includes all the times that Deshaun is running around and rushing for 40 yards because he's scrambling. If you look at Jerome Ford specifically, I think we're probably closer to 30th in the league in terms of running back rushing yards, taking out the scrambles from Deshaun Watson. We have borderline no rush attack, and again, part of that's Jerome Ford not being Nick Chubb. Part of that is our offensive line breaking down over and over on the run. And then our receivers ranked 26th in separation. We kind of showed how Cooper is struggling to separate even on his good plays. So 26 teams, their receivers get open more than ours. And so when you put a situation where, hey, the line's breaking down in 2 seconds and our receivers are 26th in the league in separation, that contributes to why Deshaun's holding the ball. That just contributes to why we're running around. That just contributes to why Deshaun can't get the ball out of his hand on time. The line's breaking down and our receivers are not getting open. So again, a lot of blame to go around. I think really there's nobody through 3 weeks on the offense that's doing a great job. And so any of these areas could improve things. If Deshaun improves, the offense will improve. If the line improves, the offense will improve. If we can become more efficient running the football, I think our offense can improve. If our receivers can get open better than 26 other teams, I think we can improve. If we don't drop the ball more than any team in the entire NFL in critical moments every game, I think our offense can improve. And then in the penalties, and then we're number 2 in the league in penalties. We're undisciplined. And so if we stop going backwards, I also think we can improve. So again, a lot of areas. I know the knee-jerk reaction is to say this is all Deshaun Watson's fault, and we'd be great if we had Joe Flacco right now. But I feel like that is not the case. Deshaun does deserve his blame, no doubt about it. But I'd like to see a lot of things start going better starting this week versus the Oakland Raiders. For how bad this game was, we lost by 6 points, and we missed a field goal. So again, a lot of areas that we can pick up. We should beat the Raiders. Again, if we beat the Raiders, we're 2-2. We're not out of this. We're not doomed. But we got to start playing better. Overall, as an offensive unit, so far not good with Ken Dorsey. I don't know what he's really added to the table. Not a good start for getting the guys prepared as a unit. And so going into week 4, we expect this team to be better. So until next week, we'll see you next time.